So today I'm just going to share to you guys a little bit of some things that God has been showing me about reconciliation and the importance of it, and the importance of that being the wholeness of forgiveness. And so I'm going to share some scriptures with you. And people, we always just say flippantly that I forgive you, and we really, have you ever just felt like you go near that person and there's just that stabbing in the heart and you're uncomfortable? People, I would say to you that you probably haven't fully forgiven them. Reconciliation is a major key of forgiveness. Coming together in peace and unity is a major key of forgiveness. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll be the bestest friends or anything, but it means that you have peace and you have gentleness and you have love and you have care towards them. It means you could hug them without an issue, shake their hands without an issue. I mean, it doesn't mean being dumb with something. Obviously, if you've been raped or been brutally beaten, it doesn't mean that you're just going to go over to that guy's house or go over to that woman's house and go near them. It just means that when you think about the situation, that you finally find peace and rest and a reconciliation in that. And so I'm going to share these scriptures to you. And I want you guys to think about them and pray through them and see what the Lord has to say. So the first scripture is going to be to you is John 8:4-7. It's a New American Standard Bible. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman has been caught in adultery in the very act. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. What then do you say?" They were saying this, testing him, so that they might have ground for accusing him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground. But when they persisted in asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "He without sin amongst you, cast the first stone. He without sin, let him be the first to throw a stone at her." And they walked away. That shows us, people, that Jesus had enough confidence right then and there to know that not one man could stand before him sinless. That means that we cannot stand before our brothers and sisters sinless. It means in every circumstance and every situation that we can't stand before that sinless. That there's always room to make a change and make a difference. The next scripture I'm going to read, I'm just going to read from a line that is in Jennifer Knapp. It's a song. And it says, "Let he without sin cast the first stone if he will. To say that my bride isn't worth half the shed that I've spilled, point your finger and laugh if you choose. To say that my bride is borrowed and used, but she is strong enough to say, I am weak, I am poor, I am broken, but Lord, I am yours, hold me now." People, you're all broken, we're all used, we're all hurting people. And to say we can't be around hurting people, we're messed up because we're all hurting. And we need to love our brothers and sisters. We need to find reconciliation and peace. Matthew 5:24. This is actually Matthew 5:23-24. And this is in the Message. Sometimes I just love the Message. Eugene, good job. "This is how I want you to conduct yourself in these matters. If you enter your place of worship," that means if you come to worship the Lord in church, wherever, "and about to make an offering," and that, guys, that's an offering, just raising our hands and just singing to the Lord, or whatever it is the Lord's telling you to offer, you suddenly remember you have a grudge, a friend a friend has against you. Abandon your offering and leave immediately. Whereas it's not even just saying if you have a grudge to a friend, but if a friend has a grudge with you, to leave immediately and abandon your offering and go to this friend and make things right. Then, only then, come back and work with things out with God. Wow, when I read that, it just hit me. And it's like, we all have people that we know they have a grudge with us, and like, go and write them or go and phone them and try. Not always will they accept it, guys, but at least you tried. At least you tried to make it right so that you could go before Christ with your true offering and give it truly to Him. The next scripture I'm going to read to you is Ephesians 2:16. This is a Message again. And actually I'm going to read from Ephesians 2:16-18. Christ brought us together through his death on the cross. The cross got us to embrace, and that was the end of the hostility. Christ came and preached peace to you, outsiders, and peace to us insiders. He treated us as equals, and so made us equals. Through him, we both share the same Spirit and have equal access to the Father. Colossians 1:22, New American Standard. I'm going to read this one to you. Yet he has now reconciled you in his fleshy body through death in order to present you before him holy and blameless and beyond reproach. That word, you guys want to know what it means? Reproach means in the dictionary to find fault with a person, group, act, blame. And God says here, yet he has now reconciled you in his fleshly body through death in order to present you before him holy and blameless and beyond reproach. Wow. That's just amazing to me. And I read Colossians 3:12, New American Standard Bible again. So as those who have been chosen by God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Here's my encouragement, people, for reconciliation. Even when the person has wounded us and hurt us and caused maybe disunity or whatever it is, if we need to place on the heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, because we're all in a place of change. We're all in different places in life. And sometimes we get it and sometimes they don't. And sometimes it's like hitting your head against a brick wall and it's like you repeat yourself over and over again. Sometimes they don't receive it. But when they come to you and they say, hey, let's reconcile, it's time for you to open your arms, people. And sometimes we need to just go to them and reconcile with them and understand that sometimes those people haven't given us a right to speak into their lives. We mustn't force ourselves onto people. I must encourage you that pastors and leaders, sometimes it's so hard for us to not do that. Like, we know we have the right answer for them and we know that their life could be better if they just hear what we have to say. But sometimes they just haven't put us in that place. And if they haven't, we just really don't have the right to go there. We really just have to wait. And sometimes through building a relationship, as relationship grows and they give you the right to speak and they're willing to listen, they'll be open. Something you could have seen 10 years prior, but all of a sudden now, 10 years down the road, they've opened their hearts and they've given you a place to speak about it. And you get to open and share. And I'll tell you, it's worth waiting because the change in the end, it's amazing what gets to happen. Sometimes it's like we have grace growers and they rub us the wrong way. And people just, if I can encourage us as leaders, pastors, friends, whatever, we really need to dress in, holy and blameless. And we need to be in a place of having compassion, kindness, humility, and gentleness and patience. There's one girl that, oh man, it was like hitting a brick wall forever, and I'd speak stuff to her, and she'd just defend herself. She wouldn't even hear anything I had to say. I've even been in that place where someone's tried to speak in my life, and I haven't been willing to hear what they had to say. And I tell you, like, it was a hard road to just hang on and just love her through it, and let her come to me, and just still be there even when she came and knocked on the door and loved her. And now, like, now she calls and she asks for the words to be spoken into her life. And it's so easy now, and it's so amazing because she's an amazing woman now. What God's done in her life has been amazing. And it really had to do with me just reconciling with her and saying, hey, you know what? There's been times in your life, in our walk together, that I've tried to force you to listen and hear what I had to say because I knew it was the best thing for your life. And I had to say sorry to her for that and let go of her. And she even took time to herself for quite a while. She kind of ran, and then God just kind of re-brought her back. She came back with me with an olive branch, and she asked for reconciliation. And I could have just said, forget it, you know what? You caused disunity, you swore at me, you did all these things, you're horrible, I can't handle you, I don't really believe your heart's been changed. I decided not to do that. I decided to give her a chance. And opened my arms and said, hey, I forgive you and I love you. And when you're ready to hear anything I have to say, I'm here. And man, I'm really glad I did that. I'm glad I didn't push her away. I'm glad I didn't choose to kick the sand off my shoes or draw a line in the sand. Um, it's taught me a lot. And we all need to do that. And so I can encourage you to do that, people. Just think about it. Ask the Lord today. Here's a question of the day. I'm going to probably do this every time. If I say something or speak on this, just say to you, here's a question to ask Jesus for today. So here's a question. Say, Jesus, is there anyone in my life that has a grudge against me or that I have a grudge against that you would like me to reconcile with?